Hey guys, and welcome back to the Crown Tundra in Pokémon Sword. We still got to do a little bit of busy work to prepare to reunite the king with his steed, but we're basically on the right track now, and I gotta say, I just feel really bad for Peony at this point. He didn't give consent to be like a fucking speaking spell over here.
No, he did not.
Like, you could leave him here being possessed in the cold while you go shiny hunting or something if you wanted.
That's a bit too mean, even for me. Also, laughable, nay, derisable of you to even assume for a second that I would shiny hunt, knowing that I've never got a fucking shiny since the goddamn red Gyarados in Gen 2.
See, I have the Gyarados from Gen 2. I also have the Gyarados that I got as a Magikarp from the Raid Hero. I think the only one I've got that counts is now my Crobat, which I was finally able to transfer over from Let's Go as a Golbat and evolve it, which I'm happy about now. It took them this long to get the fucking Zubat line in the game, which... impressive restraint, I've got to say, but, you know. Oh, I'm glad that Crobat's back. I love Crobat.
Yeah, Crobat's pretty awesome.
Crownus Bloomus, come the fuck on.
Is that actual Latin for stuff, Rich?
No.
Okay, that's all we need to... oh my god. Whew. Jesus Christ, kid, I'm gonna need like a hair of the dog now. Never mind a hair of the fucking horse.
Well, I mean, like, what if he hasn't actually been asleep since his original reign and he's just been on coffee this whole time? That would explain that facial expression.
Alright. Gotta go make some rains now, and the mayor knows how to do this. Well, I mean, he could be busy making merch and whatnot, but no, he's just standing there, stiff as a ball in his house.
Yeah, so... what it probably would be in Latin, I don't know, but it would probably be Coronum Flore, which would be crown bloom. Although obviously there are different variants on that. I do not actually speak Latin, but that is what Google is telling me are the direct translations for crown and bloom in Latin, so I will take it.
Well, I don't have the whole flower here, but I got a petal at least.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh my god! We could sell this and finally move out of this shitberg. Ah yes, precious Freezington lore. I mean, dude, you have books right over there.
That implies that he reads them rather than just has them to make him look smart.
Oh, I see, they're not just like a special kind of glasses, they're fogged up, you can't see shit. Again, with the fading to black, you gotta be better than this, Game Freak. I'm gonna knock the shit out of this fucker.
Them drawing attention to the bookshelf hurts their cause as well, given every other house has the same bookshelf.
Yeah, well maybe they just all have the same books, mate. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, well, so why does it railroad specifically to the mayor's house to read about it?
Because he's old, he has no family, and he just needs a bit of company, alright? I love this. You think he's like coming to have some agency and whatnot after being a puppet for so long. But actually, no, the hot water is off in his house. For God's sake, Peony. So yeah, the mayor tried, but unfortunately his wrists, both of them, actually snapped like a twig. Let's do this shit.
It's fine, I've got this.
Yeah, just listen to the song and maybe we'll all get along. Also, you have big, strong hands.
This isn't quite Piers awkward, but there is still the whole thing of they're talking about having these songs, but no acting.
Well, at least there's music playing right now.
Yeah, which is a little better than what we had last term.
Well, true, but still, it's not music that goes with what he's fucking singing.
And there's another example of, like, you know, tying character traits and whatnot into the story. Of course he knows how to, like, tie rope and whatnot. He's like a fucking explorer. Oh, and also he sews all of Peony's clothes and whatnot, which is an interesting touch.
Or is this? That's another thing of him being the really caring dad, though, isn't it?
Oh, that is smashing, yes. Okay, I've held this off for long enough. That fucking rock thing, whose name I forget, to this day I'm still pissed off that it has an association to Diancie, but it doesn't evolve into the fucking thing.
Yeah, that is Carbink. Also, I don't like Carbink's design in general. I think Diancie's a lot cooler, but yeah, there should be some sort of actual connection, not just implied, I feel.
Poor fucking guy. Alright, calm down, calm down. The horse ain't going anywhere.
Well, we literally saw it running off at full speed, so it absolutely is.
What did I say about the Crown Tundra not being, like, as winding and whatnot as the Isle of Armor? There's only so many places it could be going.
It's still a big area, though.
Okay, yeah, let me clarify what I'm saying here. I'm not saying the Crown Tundra is badly designed at all. I like this place. I'm just saying there's only so much you can do with a frozen wasteland, for the most part, and I feel the Isle of Armor, ironically enough, encouraged exploration more than the Crown Tundra did, which, if I recall correctly, the Isle of Armor was meant to represent growth and the Crown Tundra was meant to represent exploration, although maybe I may be misattributing stuff here.
No, I think you are right on that front, because I think the whole idea with it focusing on exploration was because this is where all the legendaries were going, and that was supposed to be what, you know, triggered you wanting to go on your exploration. But you're definitely right, because there is a whole area of the Crown Tundra that if you're just going for pure plot, you are pretty much never going to visit.
What hurt my initial impressions of the Crown Tundra is the first time I went down to this sort of area here, and the areas that you go on the story part of the DLC were all covered in fog. So I couldn't see shit, so I couldn't acclimatise myself to the different landmarks. Which, compared to Isle of Armor, where there's very distinct divided up areas, you know, it wasn't the best view. It was just like, here's a grass area I can barely see, here's a snow area I can barely see. And I really kind of feel like that should be hard locked to your first time going through, that there's like a set weather pattern that encourages you to actually have a look around rather than the fog that just inhibits it.
Yeah, no, definitely agree.
I mean, it just seems like it's trying to help with draw distance here more than anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure this place isn't always foggy.
I'm not entirely sure, actually.
Like, the first area that I saw wasn't always foggy. It was just the first time I went there was fog, and it was really irritating.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see, it was once frozen tundra. Oh, you silly ancient writing people. Little did you know. Little did you know.
I love the Beartic's just there chilling, like, yeah, we just got a bear, just don't mind him, he won't kill you, I swear.
I gotta say, if I saw a Glalie just floating around in the wild, I would probably move house. Oh my god.
It's the lad.
Metagross is still one of the best designs to come out of Gen 3.
I like it a lot, yeah.
I think it might be my favourite Steel-type Pokemon, honestly.
It's up there for me. I see this took you a little while.
It fucking did, and it's hailing as well, so good luck with the low catch rate plus hail. Eat Master Ball, you prick.
To be fair, I used the Master Ball on Metagross and Colosseum, so I'm not going to hold you to this one.
Well, I mean, I would never use my Master Ball anyway, if I could help it, and fucker gave me a spare one, so...
Like, usually I just hold them in reserve in case that, like, there's something that either gives me too much grief and I get bored of whittling Ultra Balls, or, you know, like, there's a shiny I particularly want that just shows up. You know, like, usually I tend to not use it on the legendaries, particularly nowadays where it's so easy to redo the legendary battles if you accidentally KO them or whatever.
Oh man, that's one of the things I like most, actually, about the newer gens. Like, we'll get to it next time, but the Regis, for example, you can, like, knock them out and just redo the puzzle and fight them instantly again.
Yeah, they respawn, so you're not locked out of getting any of the legendary Pokemon apart from the ones where it's a pick one sort of deal. Which that is its own problem in itself, and like it's just the problem Pokemon has always had, but just accentuated that little bit more. Like, I can take a lot of bullshit from this franchise, because, you know, I'm fucking Pokemon Shield, you know this, I love this series.
Same.
But, you know, like, you're getting closer and closer, you're pushing your luck that little bit more and more. Like, I know this has been a cash cow franchise since day one. There's a reason why they've split all the games into 2 versions, because they know a lot of people will double dip. And that's just encouraging that further. But when you get to things like the Reggies where you have to get both of them but you can only get one per save file, they know exactly what they're fucking doing. And I don't buy any of the whole it encourages trading sort of thing, because people would trade Pokemon anyway.
Yeah.
And all that really comes down to is it's not people trade because they want to curate their teams with like a Pokemon that their friend had instead or whatever. It's because they want it for their Pokédex, so they're just going to trade it and trade back. Like, you know, there's no non-cynical way to defend that, really, you know?
I mean, I suppose looking at it these days, the approach that I suppose I would like them to take, because they're always going to do the multi-version approach, because, hey, it's worked for them so far, why the hell would they change it at this point?
Yeah.
Is going for more like what Nintendo did with Fire Emblem Fates, in the sense of that game came in multiple versions, but you were able to, I can't remember whether it's buy a version or buy one version and then effectively pay a little bit extra and get the other version, and so on and so forth. So rather than spending 120, I mean, I know that Switch games are not $60 or 60 quid, but let's go with that. So rather than spending 120 quid on 2 copies of exactly the same game, you spend maybe like 80 quid for the one game with the content that you would also get in the other version.
Yeah.
And then you choose at the start which version you go with, so you can have them all on the same bloody cartridge.
You know the Pokemon Company would never allow that.
They would never allow that. It would never happen.
Also, Richie, sorry to burst your bubble, but a lot of first-party Nintendo games are $60.
That is true. I think it's just because most of the time when, you know, we purchase them on various sites, they sit closer to like the 40, 45 mark.
Yeah, I don't pay 50 quid for anything. Like, that's just how I am. I'm not paying full price for games nowadays, especially with the fucking PS5 shit where they're 70 quid. Like, literally go fuck yourself, you know, like, that's the threshold you don't cross, and I will go full boomer back in my day with that shit, because that is taking the piss.
Back in the day, N64 games were 50 quid, and even though I was a spoiled brat, I felt a little bit guilty that my mum had to shell out that amount of money for stuff, but Jesus
yeah, but
Christ.
I'm that bit younger where I grew up with a GPA as my system, so fuck you, I got everything for 30.
Well, there you go, there you go. Also, just before we get off this tangent, apparently Sony wanted to actually charge more, but decided against it. Good old Sony.
Yeah, they're our friends, and like that kind of, I feel like you were falling a bit into that trap there with what you were talking about the Fire Emblem thing, Rich, in that you could say that it's better than what Pokemon does, but at the same time, if all that content is ready at release, it's not like the sort of thing that needs extra development time. It's very arbitrary that that's cut into like a DLC chunk.
You are very correct, and I 100% agree with you. It's not a consumer-friendly approach. However, if you're going to do it, at least do it in a way that probably doesn't piss off as many people.
At that point, you are just like using relativity, though, you know.
Anywho, to get off this topic and back onto the story, the Crown Shrine. Not to piss on hospitality, Your Majesty, but this place is a shithole.
Yeah, I think it needs a little bit of TLC.
Tender, loving Calyrex. There you go.
To be fair, this is his home. If he wants to like look after it like this, he likes having the snow around, fuck it, why not?
I think it's implied he hasn't lived here in a while. This is the horse's place.
Yeah, so that is basically what he's pretty much just said, is that he has avoided this place since he lost his power, and the Loyal Steed has made it its home, and that's why it's become such a dump, because, you know, it's just coming and mucking up the place because it doesn't give a shit.
To be fair, this probably didn't look like a temple to start with.
Probably not.
Like, all the structures here are man-made, so it's not like Calyrex made shit for himself.
Well, you don't know that. Well, actually, there's a lot of crafted stone here, so...
Yeah, I do know that.
He might have made the tree, but he didn't make the rest of it.
That's true. Yeah, that's like the humans and the Pokemon cooperating and whatnot. Oh, I love this cutscene. Give it a bit of time to load, it's fine. Right, now you're worrying me. Nice little bit of music here. Hello? Is anyone here? Oh, it would be awful if someone was in my abode offering me carrots and whatnot in an attempt to ride me. Well, look at this! A carrot! That's not ominous at all. Alright, now's my time to shine.
There's your fucking shot, you know.
Booyah, baby! The king has returned!
And this is just so awesome. It's so cool.
Okay, I'm sorry, Rishi, but I thought you said that's so horse there for a second.
I was gonna say the same fucking thing.
There you go, full power Calyrex. Much like Curium fused with either Zekrom or Reshiram, this is its own Pokemon as well, and it's a level 80 fucker, so good luck.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be pretty difficult, actually. Like, I mean, particularly the Shadow Rider Calyrex, which is what this is described as, because, oh boy, because its special ability is called, it's something like Grim Neigh, and every time it defeats an opponent, its special attack like doubles. So you can get so far into the battle and it's just one-shotting you every single time. It's a beast!
Well, that's the King's Steed for you, I suppose, mate. Oh, Jesus, fuck, not this again!
It is surprising to me that Calyrex does have such a low catch rate, though, given in context of the story he wants to be cool.
Well, you know, he's not going to take it lightly. He is a king, he has dignity.
Oh, so he just has to scrap with us a bit before we treat him like a pet.
Exactly, exactly. Also, it's more of a partnership than a pet, really.
I stick him in the box and forget about him like all my other Pokemon.
I pick up his poops just like every other cat. Alright, let's get our Pokemon ready to rumble, and then it's the end of the Calyrex story. But first, we gotta send Peony back to the safety of the Freeze Inn, so there he goes.
I wonder how far his powers can go. Like, where could he put him? Could he just, like, dump him in Sinnoh or some shit if he wanted?
Well, at full power, like I said, he literally teleported an entire forest overnight, so... Also interesting to know, we'll see this in a later part, but Calyrex is the only Pokemon, at least as far as I'm aware, whose Dynamax aura is not the sickly Eternatus purplish pink, it's blue.
You are completely correct, and that opens up a whole bunch of potential lore there that we don't really know much about, and whether they will go any further in on it, because you don't make that choice without a good reason behind it. But yeah, this is the other cool thing with Calyrex, is in his special forms, he has two abilities.
Well, he has the as one ability that takes elements from both, which is cool. It makes sense for a combined Pokemon to have that.
I gotta say, one of my favourite aspects of Spectria's design is the fact there's the little bit of space between the bottom of the leg and the top of the hoof.
I thought that was a graphical glitch when I first saw it, and it took me a minute to realise that, oh yeah, he's ghost type, that makes sense.
Damn, son.
Astral Barrage is a pretty powerful move.
I'm a big fan of Glacial Lance myself.
Yeah, that's the Glastrier version. I mean, really, just the whole thing is really awesome, and was just a really exciting moment to come to, because while, you know, we're expecting a fight of some description, this is a pretty cool fight. It's just, it can be quite a challenge if you don't get lucky with your catches, like Tom did just there.
Hey, that wasn't my first attempt, I can tell you that much.
I saw you saving the recording and I got really nervous.
Let's see what the king has to say. It said that Calyrex and a Pokemon that had bonded with it ran... whatever.
Yeah, past you read that a lot quicker.
Well, I'm not the fucking horse, mate, alright? Well, I'm a workhorse, maybe, but that's besides the point.
So, one other important thing to note is that Calyrex, in its different forms, are basically the only Pokemon in the entirety of Sword and Shield that you can catch in its combined form. Obviously, you are able to get the combined Kyurem and Reshiram/Zekrom, and I want to say there's another one, but I can't remember what the hell it is.
And Necrozma.
Oh, yeah, that's it. But with those, you have got to... You can only catch them in their individual forms and then combine them later.
Yes, everything's under control. Don't worry about it. Also, we're going to have a talk about your agency when we get back.
Like, I'm just curious what long-lasting mental effects is this going to have on Peony? These, like, day full of weird dreams and shit.
I don't think he'll remember any of it, mate.
Or he's been talking about how he just randomly nodded off in the day, and like, surely after that happens a few times, you might start having serious concerns about your health.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose.
I mean, you would think so, but then the cast of Pokemon don't necessarily always act in the most logical of ways.
Oh, bad writing is what it is.
I'm glad you understand, Tom. It's just like your show that have bad writing.
Oh, sorry. You're gonna have to speak up, mate. I can't hear bullshit.
You can't hear yourself talk? Tom?
No, I heard what you said. I just wasn't listening.
Okay.
Let's ride back even with the king.
And he can't keep up. This is that embarrassing, having like being a royal with your royal steed and a kid who on a bike beach. Come the fuck on now.
I'm checking his speed so we don't run you down. Yes, that's it.
Why are there so many Frosmoth on that one road? Like, outside of the TCG, I don't think it's particularly useful.
I don't know, it's just that one area where there's like so many Pokemon clustered together.
Because Frosmoth does have a bit of a support base in the TCG, in the fact that the Sword and Shield base set card for Frosmoth is basically base set Blastoise. It's got like a equivalent to a Rain Dance thing, which that tied with the Lapras VMAX, which basically it does more damage depending on how many water energy it's got attached. That's a combo that doesn't get as much use as like the Zacian ADP sort of setup, but I do see that around quite a lot.
Also, we just got some safety goggles, which actually negate weather, I suppose. It's kind of like the answer to Sneaky Pebbles in the boots and whatnot. Are you fucking kidding me? The King of Galar, everyone! You know what, fuck it, just take us back to home base. So yeah, that was the Calyrex storyline. Like I said, I enjoyed that a lot more than Kubfu's arc, as it were. Kubfu's one wasn't bad, but this just feels like a story that had a bit more heart put into it, and especially with all the lore and whatnot, I find it a lot more interesting than Kung Fu and his evolution.
Well, this did have story, whereas Kung Fu was more like just walk around with him, see the sights.
Yeah, and also Calyrex had a character which Kung Fu pretty much did not.
He had a little bit, but not to the extent of Calyrex. So yeah, that's one quest down. Coming up next we have the ridges, we have the birds, and then there's a little something else which I added in just at the last moment, so please don't judge me too harshly for having a very unoptimized team.
I'm judging as you speak.
So judging.
Well, Rishi, you're fine, but Flame, with you, we've established that you talk shit constantly, so I just tune you out for the most part.
See, I didn't have any trouble with the thing you're talking about. My team was good.
Yeah, well, you're not the one recording the fucking game, are you? Yay! Green tick means good. And done.
Anything else legendary you want to talk about? Well, we sort of know where we're going, mate.
Flame's legendary bad taste. That's the one. But we're out of time here, so we'll have a little spin, and we'll see you next time when our questing through the Crown Tundra continues. See you then.